Good afternoon, happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. I am sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. I am actually tired. To be totally honest with you guys, okay, I know, actually, I don't think I fell asleep until almost 4 o'clock last night, guys. And then I woke up at like noon or something like that. I really only got like 6 hours of sleep, which is like... Oh my gosh, guys, seriously, I can't, like, I'm scared to go to bed early, though, because I'm like, gosh darn it, if I go to bed early, I am not going to, like, wake up early. I'm going to sleep until noon anyway, so I'm like, do I really want to go to bed early or try? But it's not actually that late. I'm just, like I said, tired, because I got only, like, 6 hours of sleep. Or maybe it was like 3 o'clock or something like that. The night before that, I didn't fall asleep till, I didn't go to bed or fall asleep until like 4 o'clock. So I was, up pretty late the last couple days, guys, and I have not been waking up early. But I am, like, tired because I, like I said, like, wake up at noon, but I go to bed at like 4. I fall asleep by like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So it's like 7 to like 6 hours of sleep that I'm actually getting, which is, not completely, it's a little less, but... yeah, I'm just going to bed super late, and I need to start going to bed early because I don't even remember what ended up happening, but I was, like, going to bed early, and, like, for the most part, like, I had, like, a time where, like, I wouldn't wake up any later than 10 o'clock, which was awesome. Like, some days I wake up at, like, 9, some days I wake up at, like, 8. I think one day I woke up at, like, 7 o'clock, but I was, like, consistently at least waking up 10 o'clock or earlier, which was, like, okay. 10 o'clock kind of oversleeping, but, it depended on when I went to bed. And now I'm, like, completely, totally off and, like, going to bed super late now and waking up, like, super late also. But regardless of not going to bed early, I still did, get some stuff done for today. I did make dinner, and I also, threw some more stuff in the dehydrator because I made, the tomatoes, the sun-dried tomatoes. I used like 2 pints of the organic sun-dried tomatoes, and the reason is because I really love cherry tomatoes. I love to eat cherry tomatoes. Well, I love to eat grape or cherry tomatoes, but what I realized is that if they're not in season, and most of the time if they're not the organic ones, the grape tomatoes are not very juicy, and I really love the juicy, like, freshly, like, ripe, or like cocktail, I think they're called cocktail, or like, there's some other name for them too, but like those type of tomatoes. They're like smaller, but not like as small or as big as Roma tomatoes, but they're smaller than that, but they're like bigger than the grape tomatoes, grape tomatoes. Either the cocktail or the cherry tomatoes. They're super juicy and like super tasty, and I love to eat those plain. I will eat like grape tomatoes, which is fine, but I just realized that they're not as like juicy and stuff like that. So I dehydrated and made sun-dried tomatoes, which, guys, this is 2 packages. Well, actually, I've been snacking on them, so to be honest, it was more like a little bit less than half of the jar. Well, I don't even know, maybe like around there or something like that. But there was more in there, and I've been snacking on them, and I had a couple that were much bigger, and so those are actually in the dehydrator again because they still weren't dried. But seriously, guys, these are like so stinking good to like chew on, honestly, because I don't like gum. I like gum because I like to chew on gum, but I cannot stand the taste of gum. Like, I don't know what it is. When I was in like for my freshman year of high school, I had a piece of gum that was like from a friend, and I remember I had to read like something, and so like I wasn't chewing the gum, I like stuck it on the side, and I think it was like Trident, and I've never had Trident gum since, but it disintegrated, like completely disintegrated in my mouth, because like I don't know if it was because I wasn't chewing it or like what on earth it was, but like it just completely like disintegrated, and I've had that happen too a couple of other times afterwards. I don't know if it was like, but see, it was with different even packs of Trident gum, but I don't know what it was, but yeah, it just like completely disintegrated in my mouth, and it just tasted nasty, and it like lost its like gummy texture and then like just like disintegrated. It was the most disgusting thing ever. And I remember I was like in class, and like I was reading something, like we were doing like partner reading or something like that, and so I like couldn't get up to like go get a Kleenex even and spit it out, and so I just had to like wait until like the end of class, and then it was just, oh my gosh guys, it was so disgusting and so nasty. And like I've honestly had a problem with having gum ever since then. I'm always scared that I'm gonna get like a bad piece of gum like that, and it's gonna wind up being the same thing. Like I said, I've only ever had it happen with Trident gum. Since then, like I said, I haven't really had that much gum, but like everything else seems to be okay. But I love to chew gum. Like I seriously love to chew gum, and like it would always kind of give me at least something to do, and like kind of like help me focus, I think, more. And I just, like I said, ever since then I haven't been able to have it ever again. So these seriously remind me of gum. Like just pop one in my mouth and it will take me like a couple, because they're like dried and like hardened, I guess, but they like slowly, like as you like leave them in your mouth for a longer period of time, because they're dehydrated. So like when you dehydrate something, it like sucks the moisture out of it, and so if you rehydrate something like by chewing on it and leaving it in your mouth, you know, or whatever, it like rehydrates it, so it like gains that, like it's easier, like because at first it's like really hard, but then when you like chew on it for a while, I don't know, have you guys had like, even I guess store-bought like dehydrated fruit isn't a really good example, because like in that case it doesn't like really rehydrate, I guess, like the more you chew on it. But I don't know, like I said, to me it just reminds me of gum, or almost like jerky too, like kind of like that, or like again gum, like the more you chew it the easier it gets, especially if you're like chewing like the, what is it, the Hubba Bubba gum or whatever, the you guys know what I'm talking about, the little yellow ones with the like blue wrappers that you always get at like Halloween and stuff like that, or inside of a piñata. But like those, like, you know, they're super hard, and then as soon as you start chewing on them, they like get really like easier to chew. That's how these remind me of it. I don't know why, but I've seriously been like obsessed today, like chewing on them. And I was working on stuff too, like I was actually doing my my list, my couponing list, which again I've got to do more of, but I was working on that today, and I was like so focused, and I think honestly it had a lot to do with chewing on these. And like I know some people too, they say like they'll chew on ice, or like, you know, gum and stuff like that, or even too, my friend likes to chew straws. I don't know why, but she says it really helps to keep her like focused, and like I think like distracts you, I think, from like, or like gives you something to do. And you know, especially before, like back in my day before we had phones, like I don't know, not like chewing gum, but it made you look like you were busy, or you were actually like doing something, even if you're just like standing there chewing gum. But like I don't know guys, I'm kind of getting off topic here, but I made those. And then I also had more spinach, which I've been eating my spinach too, my dehydrated spinach, but I'll show you guys in here. I've got some spinach leaves that are dehydrating and make it spinach chips. These are my leftover spinach chips that I've still been eating, that I made a while ago. But then I've got the tomatoes all in here, which you guys can see. Like I said, I had a couple left from the other package that weren't completely dehydrated yet, so I left those and put them back in there and dehydrated them a little bit more because they were still soft. And I actually, like, to be totally honest, like you can dehydrate them and like it tells you like kind of the texture that you want, but like a couple of them I think it really overdid. And then with some of them too, I think like you could leave them and let them be a little less dehydrated, if that makes sense, like if you want it a little bit more chewy. But the one thing I do want to do is I have 2 pineapples. I want to cut those up, and then like leave them in the fridge for people to have as snacks. But I also want to cut them up and then like use them and dehydrate them as well, because I love dehydrated pineapple. It's like my favorite. And banana chips too. I don't actually love banana chips, Jack does, but I've tried to make them like 3 times now, and I think all I know is every single time I have tried to make them, they've not turned out really well. I either haven't made the chip, like I'll try and, because what I tried to do is I tried to add lemon juice to them so they don't turn brown, which if they turn brown it's fine, it just means that it's been absorbed to the air, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's like the same, I think it's more with like starchy foods, or maybe even foods that have a lot of potassium in them, because it happens to potatoes, bananas, and what's it called, avocado. And I know avocado, bananas have a lot of potassium. I think potatoes do too, right? Or bananas and avocado do. Anyways, though, I think that's just why. And if they're exposed to the air, then they start to turn brown. And even too, I guess with apples do that as well. I mean, with a lot of stuff, if you leave it exposed for too long, it does. But with avocado and banana and potatoes, very quickly they will start to turn brown. And that's the same with like I said, with the bananas. As soon as I like put them into the dehydrator, they already start to turn brown. And so there's really nothing you can do except for lemon juice. You can add lemon juice to it. It'll help to keep it from going brown. But then you have the taste of lemon juice. So they don't totally taste like banana. They taste like bananas with lemon juice on them. So when I've tried to do that in the past, it didn't work out too well. And Jack was kind of like grossed out the last time we made them because they were brown. Even though, again, they taste totally fine. They taste like banana chips. But I honestly don't know how or what like the places from the store do to them to make them not turn brown. Like, if that's a natural process, doesn't that make you guys think like what is being added, or how are they chemically engineering them, or how are they making them different from the way I'm making them that's preventing them from browning? And so yeah, that kind of like, I don't know, not grosses me out more, like, I don't know, I'd rather have the brown bananas than have the not brown bananas and not know what was added to them to make them not brown, especially like I said, if it's a natural process that ends up happening and they end up turning brown and you're preventing that from happening somehow. And it's kind of the same thing too. I was reading, and I don't know how true it is because I just barely like was skimming over the article. Skim milk is actually blue if you like remove like the fat or whatever it is from it, and it actually turns blue. At least, again, this was from what I briefly read in the article. And that then they chemically add like, or engineered something to make it so that it stays white. But if you actually did like take like whole milk and removed like and turn it into skim milk, it would actually turn blue. But I think it was like something like because people were so turned off by the blue color of the milk, which is actually why if you guys ever look on the caps, it's like a light blue. And I actually think that's why, because red is whole, and then like you have the like dark blue, and then you have the light blue for like the other one, is like that. I don't know, that just came to me now. I have no clue if that's true, again, but that's what I was reading. Like I said, I just kind of skimmed the article and didn't totally read it. But I mean, there's a lot of things that end up happening like that are, you know, engineered or modified in some way to prevent something, or something's added to it that, you know, prevents a natural process from actually taking place in a product. And so that's why I much rather buy, you know, as organic as possible, and hopefully, again, there is no chemicals added to it. I'm just taking that on good faith, and then do it myself. I'll dehydrate my own and make my own sun-dried tomatoes instead of buying like processed stuff. You know, so yeah, as back to nature as I can possibly go, and then, you know, try and like I said, use you know, do things my way. But yeah, I want to make some of those. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna do the bananas, but I am, gosh, the dog is going upstairs to go chew on something. I do want to do some of the pineapple because it tastes like candy to me, honestly, guys. And pineapple reminds me of like gummy bears or like fruit snacks, which I can't have really anymore because the majority of them are made with gelatin, and so I can't eat them because gelatin is made from chicken bones, which I can't eat because I'm a vegetarian. So a lot of like, you think like vegetarian just doesn't eat like meat. Can't eat a lot of things, but like in that case I haven't had like anything gummy too. And that's the other thing too why I really like those tomatoes, because they kind of remind me of like gummy bears, like you chew on them like jerky almost, which I've only had jerky a couple times in my life. So yeah, but like those, just like like I said, the pineapple reminds me of like gummy bears or like gummy fruit snacks and stuff like that. And isn't that how it's supposed to taste? It's actually supposed to taste like real fruit, and it's so sugary too anyway, and it's so naturally like natural sugars that it isn't processed and all that kind of stuff, that it tastes to me just so much better. Honestly, guys, I love as natural as I can possibly get, and I think it just tastes way better. Now, sometimes I can't always make things as good or as tasty. Like I said, kale chips, I have not mastered the process of kale chips, but I love spinach chips, and I can make really good spinach chips, then spinach chips that I really enjoy eating and actually like and think they taste good. Whether or not anybody else does, I don't know, but like I said, I will do my own sun-dried tomatoes, eat those, and I've seriously been, I don't know what it has been, but I haven't touched the dehydrator in like over a year, and now all of a sudden I want to put everything in it. So I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.